So, why? I don't even fucking know. I was gonna make a joke about like $20 ports on Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red being such a hot topic, but like the more I talk about it, the more asinine it was going to be. Like the idea was going to be making fun of the fact that the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, which are all new games with modern conveniences and whatnot, are cheaper. But like, I don't know. I kind of don't give a fuck. I think the internet's full of bullshit nowadays. So I don't know if I want to talk about manufactured hate content. I'm going to sip a Liquid Death. This is sponsored, by the way. Liquid Death. Pay me money.
I'd actually never really looked into the Pixel Remastered. That's kind of crazy that you can get, what, 6 games for $75.
Yeah, isn't it? And those are JRPGs.
That's cool. Yeah.
I will say it. Final Fantasy VI alone is quite worth the money.
I believe it. That's one of those things I would very much like to play the first Final Fantasy game specifically. Just because I know, in the same way that, like, even though I wouldn't rate, like, Citizen Kane, I can still appreciate what it did for film.
If you're looking for something along those lines, may I recommend the original Dragon Quest as well?
I was just thinking that too. I know that's one of the other big ones where it's just like, we're gonna write the book for how an RPG and a JRPG is gonna work here.
Yeah, I feel like those two are two sides of the same coin, but yeah. I'm also just like a JRPG nerd. I played too many of those damn things. It is such a
I won't lie though, I am pretty hyped for Game Boy Pokemon remasters.
They're just ports, but you're right. Like it's pretty cool. Like I wish that we had more Game Boy games that you could just buy one time and not have to pay a subscription for.
Mm-hmm.
Why does everything need a subscription service nowadays? It's fucking dog shit.
It is actually. I'm curious because I'm trying to remember the name of it now. Somebody basically released the Game Boy again with FPGAs.
What's an FPGA?
I'm pretty sure. Retro Pocket? Is that what it's called?
Perchance?
Not sure. That doesn't seem right. So there is a game hardware company that makes like a hardware level emulation, basically. So you can take your old console games, like your old Game Boy or NES, or I think the big one that was recent was they did an N64 clone, and you can play them on these consoles without using any licensing from Nintendo, because it gets around their proprietary everything entirely by basically emulating hardware in software. And it does that using FPGAs, field programmable grid array chip components. They're like a special transistor, I think, where in normal CPU development, design, manufacturing, the actual like switches in the transistors are sort of stuck in one direction, so they only go the one way forever. You can't change which direction that transistor goes. In the FPGAs, you can change every single one of those. So you can reprogram the whole thing as you want to, basically. It's a big thing in open source fields because of that. But that also makes them very expensive. And it's been this kind of like fight between the cost of it and how that's allowed them to start to develop more and more of these as costs go down.
It's really cool. I'm looking at their website right now.
Analog, that's what it's called.
Yeah, Analog. I'm looking at their N64 clone.
Yep.
It just looks like an N64. a
yeah,
little bit more chic. Yeah.
They had the Analog Pocket that was not a Game Boy Advance, but a Game Boy clone.
Yeah.
So we're not quite to Game Boy Advanced, but if they ever did a Game Boy Advance clone, I would buy that shit so fast.
Oh my god.
Because to me that's like kind of the peak era. That's where my nostalgia is. Yeah.
I have mixed feelings on the Game Boy Advance. Like, as a proud Nintendo boy, I'm so sorry I made that sound. No, like the Game Boy Advance has a lot of cool games. Don't get me wrong. I just don't find myself like feeling an urge to go back to them. Oh yeah, kind of ironic. 'Cause I'm pretty sure the one game I played more than anything else in the world, Pokemon Emerald. I had like 300 hours in that fucker. It's on there, but at the same time, it's like, what else do I want to play other than just like old Pokemon?
I would have to go back and check. I still have a little box of all of my old GBA games, and there's some bangers in there. It's definitely more than just Pokemon, but it's been, 15, 20 years since I've touched it, so yeah.
That's fair. I really love fucking modern tech companies. These things are so cool. Look at the
It is. It's just neat.
Yeah. Shout out to Analog. Like Liquid Death. Please pay us money and we'll talk better about your products.
Yeah, exactly. There is the other side of it, though, where all of their stuff basically immediately sells out all the time. So you can't, ever get it.
I don't know.
So,
I'm looking at a $300 N64 ripoff. I don't know. It is cool. I will give you this. That it comes with an SD card. One wouldn't think about that. And I'm not saying it's meant to, put ROMs on there, but it's very cool that you have the option to put fan games on there. Did you know someone once got Five Nights at Freddy's running on an N64?
I believe it.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty cool. It's a simple game.
It is.
Yeah. And having an HDMI, a USB cord, and a USB-C power supply, that's modernization you can't really argue with. So cool.
So just for a quick reference, though, right now the Analog 3D is the only one that you can actually buy.
Yeah.
All the others are sold out.
Drag.
But I do still have my original Game Boy Advance, so I'm not hurting.
What's your favorite retro console?
The PS Vita.
That does not sound like a correct answer, but I'm not going to fight that and feel old when I have to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. It was, I don't think old enough to be retro, but older than I thought.
How old is the PS Vita?
December 2011. It'll be 15 years old this year.
I was thinking 2012.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that is basically when it actually came out. I believe 2011 was maybe a Japan or a limited release date, but I know for sure that I got mine in February 2012 because it was almost exactly my birthday. Yeah, February 15th, 2012 is when it released in North America. What was really dumb, though, was that some of the games were available before then. So I pre-ordered a Vita and a couple of games, and I got the call to pick up the games, and I get there, and it's like, oh no, it's just the games. You can't have the Vita yet. It's just like, what the fuck? Why would you do this? What is wrong with you people?
What's your opinion on reproduction cards?
For the Vita?
Well, just in general.
Or just in general?
Yeah.
I don't really have an opinion. It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah. When it gets to some of the newer stuff, if it's on a mobile handheld thing, right? I get it for that because the screen is very specific in that case. But if you're talking about anything for a TV game system, it feels like at that point you should probably just be emulating.
Fair. And balance. kind of
Yeah, the
want one
Vita
of
was
these.
I mean, it's not really an unpopular opinion anymore, but the Vita was always pretty great.
I think so. I think the Vita was really just bogged down by a lack of support.
Absolutely.
And, like, the fact they had to go against what I think is the best Nintendo handheld console, the fucking 3DS. I don't think the Vita has stood much of a chance. Sony needed to give it a lot more firepower.
Very much agree. The memory card thing immediately kneecapped it from the start, though.
What's the memory card thing?
Oh, it doesn't use standard memory cards, even though they're basically the exact same size as a micro SD.
But why?
Because Sony, sorry, forced to have it, because Sony wants to make a shitload of money selling you memory cards.
Well, they fucked up.
Let me look this up again, because the prices were genuinely fucking obscene. And so we have a GameSpot article here from November 2011. I gotta see if they have some comparisons here. Yeah. So at the time of this article being written, oh, this is even better. So PSP memory cards at the time is what was being compared against, even though the PSP used like a proprietary format, which isn't really a fair comparison, and especially because it was older. So I'm not gonna consider that fair. The short of it is that a 4 gig memory card was $30.
Oof.
And that was on top of the game that you were buying, because none of the games had memory on them. It was really bad.
That is really bad. That's really fucking weird.
Yep.
Oh, well. I kind of want a 3DS collection. Just like a small assembly of like 3DSs I could just have on like my side, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Put them in a nice case.
Yeah. I can
Video
appreciate
game
that.
console aesthetics are very underrated art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people shit on the PlayStation 5 shape a lot, but like, you know what it is immediately. That works.
I think the PS5 is actually quite beautiful.
It definitely. Well,
yeah,
it's not my taste for sure. Yeah. I get why people don't like it, but I don't know. I do appreciate the intention of it. I think that's all I can really say.
I have this complex. I think I may have talked about it on the show. I have a thing. If you give me an object and then put that object in like 5 different colors and put them right next to each other, I become so fucking happy. It's like a Power Rangers thing.
Sure.
The PS5 feels like it's primed for that. I do not know why the fuck they haven't done that.
Well, and it's super weird too, right? Because the side plates on it just come off really easily. So people have already made like third-party colors and stuff that you can just pop on there. And then Sony, being the kind of bastards that they are, sued them for copyright or patent infringement, whatever the hell it was, which is very dumb.
Ooh, don't talk bad about the $1 million company. Ooh.
I guess that's as good of a thing to jump into here as any is going to be, because I have a bit of a hot take on the Xbox news that we had this week.
Oh, yeah.
Phil Spencer retiring, Sarah Bond retiring or resigning from Xbox. Matt Booty has been promoted to Microsoft AI. Matt Booty promoted. I don't know what that exactly means. He's promoted, but Microsoft AI executives Asta Sharman has been named as the new top Xbox gaming executive. There's not a lot to say on this, I don't think. The big things that stood out to me were, first, Sarah Bond's retirement.
Yeah.
Resignation, I guess, would be the way to put it. She's not retiring, as far as I understand, but her resignation seems like a pretty clear indication that what we're going to see at Xbox in the immediate future is not going to be good for Xbox. The way I saw it put was that Sarah could see the writing on the wall and decided that she was not going to be the sin eater for Microsoft in this case. Hence,
Good on
they're
her.
promoting some seemingly random Microsoft AI executive to a position that she, by her own admission, is very not familiar with. They're not a gamer.
I say good on her.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Don't eat that shit. Stand up for yourself. Totally agree.
yeah. I think this is the nail in the coffin. I think Microsoft has officially stopped giving a fuck about the Xbox brand.
Very much agree. It's been weird. I have been surprised at how much their revenue has not gone down. If that makes sense. Maybe that's just an indication of how terrible they've been for a while now, but I really expected that we were going to see their revenue just go off a cliff here a lot sooner than we did, and that cliff just, it's been a gradual descent. 5, 10, 15% per year. Nothing dramatic, nothing earth-shattering. Though I guess time will tell how the ROG Ally Xbox X Series handheld, whatever the hell, actually sells as.
It's not going to sell well.
Oh, what do you mean? People love $1,000 consoles.
Do they, though?
No. No, they don't.
I think. Okay, hear me out, right? I don't think they really want the whatever it's called to do well. I'm going to call it the Xbox Switch because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I truly think that this was all set up to fail in the long run. And if they do get some money off it, that's nice. But like they're expecting to turn a profit. They just want to use this as an excuse to like take Xbox out of hardware, and then they're just going to focus on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. You ready for my hot take, though?
Oh, hit me.
I think Sony is Xbox now.
You're right. That's not a hot take. You're just absolutely right.
Yeah. The shit that they've been doing has been like genuinely offensive at times, where they've managed to get by on the good graces of having a consistent product naming scheme. Like, we know the next PlayStation is going to be the PlayStation 6. And they've gotten a lot of good grace just off of that fact, because Xbox couldn't even be bothered to actually do the bare minimum of that. But the way that Sony has gone in and cleaned out all of these indie studios, right? They went on like a huge buying spree a couple of years ago. Bluepoint, Blooper Team, maybe not Blooper Team, maybe I'm getting that one wrong, but like the people who did the Demon Souls remake, right? They bought that whole studio, told them to make a live service game, and then fired everyone. That's Microsoft shit.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think this is going to be a very hot take right here, right? We are at the start of the next gaming crash.
I don't think that that is wrong, but I do think it would probably be more accurate to call it a tech crash in general.
You know, I was about to open up to a larger thing. I don't think the tech crash is coming. And guess what bubble's going to start it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never gonna guess. But I agree. I think that there's, as we see more and more, how these companies have very foolishly put themselves in these monoliths almost. Like, in the span of a month, right? We had Microsoft say our half of our next year's projected revenue is off of AI data center licensing sales. And then we turn around and a couple of weeks later, Sony is saying that the not even announced PlayStation 6 is going to be delayed by a year or two. We have Valve saying that they're not yet released. They don't even have a date for it technically, but the Steam machine.
Yeah.
Indefinitely were delayed more or less because they can't get RAM. They know if they release it at the price that they'd have to do with the prices of everything as they are, they'd be laughed out of the room. It's a really weird situation because we have, well, basically the exact same thing happening between Sony and Valve right now with their handhelds. Prices are going up and release dates are getting pushed out because even they can't buy the hardware that they need to make more of them. and we have Xbox basically throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
And that leaves Nintendo, who is not doing great on the hardware front either.
No, they're not. Uh, it's amazing because, like, like, let's say just below a year ago, we were at the point where the Switch was announced, Switch 2. I thought they had a slam dunk ready for them, right? But, like, Switch 2 has been getting hit with, like, tariff threats, DRM now, I'm sorry, RAM in general becoming a problem. I don't know. I don't know what the Switch 2's history is going to look like, but I don't think it's going to be a fast adoption by far.
What was it? Was it the Switch that had broke the all-time sales numbers?
I think Switch 1 did, yes.
I think I heard that. Yeah.
It's going to be
Beat
hard.
out the DS, which is a crazy statistic.
Isn't it, though?
155 million. That's one of those things that I was pretty confident. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would never have said that record was going to be broken.
You didn't think so?
For the DS, no. Because the Wii didn't even get close.
No.
And the Wii was huge. And I guess maybe the Switch gets the benefit of being that hybrid, right? Where it kind of soaks up a little bit of both markets. But I would have never guessed that any home console, which I think it's fair to call the Switch a home console, even though it has other purposes, but I would have never guessed a home console would beat the Wii, let alone the DS.
So I do agree with you up to a certain point. I do want to point out it is kind of that hybrid that makes it special. Because, like, I don't need a second Switch, but, like, I could justify as a gift giving my fiance a second Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an individuality to the portable aspect to it.
It is kind of insane how good portable technology has gotten.
Isn't it?
Because that's been a trend that we've seen outside of just Nintendo's handheld, right? We have the Steam Deck, which has been wildly successful. So successful that, likewise with the Steam Machine, Valve is running out of the hardware to make more of them because people keep buying them.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a myriad of other Microsoft-based handhelds as well for computer gaming that have all done really, really well, and they're all really good. It's really a kind of a golden age for that, for desktop gaming at least, because you can't buy reasonable graphics cards almost at this point. So, like, you're going to spend $1,000 for a new computer. You might as well buy something that can also be taken on the bus or to school.
I was about to say, I think we're at the point of no return. I don't think we'll ever see a dedicated home console in the next 10 years. I think
10 years. It's a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. That's like 2 console generations, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because you have to acknowledge Steam in general and PCs make it very hard to compete with home consoles now.
Well, so I guess that will depend on definition, right? I do think the Steam machine has a chance to be that.
Okay.
But not if Valve can't figure out their supply chains, at least. If they can't get that, and it sounds like they're already stumbling, then yeah, it's definitely not gonna be that. But it has the chance, I feel like, to situate itself really effectively to capitalize on an otherwise weak market. If you can get, basically, think about like what Microsoft positioned the Xbox One as this sort of like do everything machine.
Mm-hmm.
If the Steam machine can actually be that, where in 18 months we're in the throngs of a popped tech bubble, have the ongoing ramifications of all of these shortages still. If Valve can sit there, soak up all of that now dirt cheap RAM and storage and shove it into their boxes and kick them out the door for $50 off, and people can get these Steam machines for $700. And now you have a box that does kind of the thing that the Xbox One was supposed to do, that the PlayStation 2 and 3 did, where it sits on your TV and it does kind of everything that you need it to. It plays games. You can use it for your schoolwork. It's a real computer, right? It's like in Doom, right?
Yeah.
There's a narrow way.
Yeah, I think if I had to like position companies at the moment, like who's going to survive the tech bubble, Sony, Nintendo, and Steam, easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're not going anywhere. They're too big.
Yeah. Microsoft needs something. I don't know what. I think
Microsoft already gave up.
Yeah.
That would be my perspective on it, is that they're already done. They claim they're working on a next-gen console. I don't believe them. I don't believe that they're working on something that's going to actually materialize, even if they technically have a team of people who is doing a thing.
I guarantee you they probably do have an R&D department working on something, but they're just going to dissolve it and use it whenever they find on something else.
You know what a hot take might be? Maybe that's good for Microsoft. Maybe it's the correct choice at this point to get out of the hardware business entirely, focus on how do we make Game Pass, keep Game Pass affordable, but actually make sure that it's actually good, and then just focus on turning Windows 11 into an actually competitive gaming platform.
Can I give a hot take?
Yeah.
I think the only good future for Microsoft in the consumer is that they start selling Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo.
Oh, I agree with that very much.
I think that should be their next move. If they want to get out of the console market, please. You did the 360. You've given us enough.
Just imagine this, though, because I could see a world where this is the case, where Microsoft sells like Windows Gaming Edition.
Yeah. And
you pay $50 for a license, and it's actually like 5 to 10% quicker, better at games. Okay. That's real money to be made there.
Yeah.
That's just software. And I could see that working on all sorts of devices, desktops, of course, but what if you could run your Steam machine, or not your Steam machine, your Steam Deck 10% faster for $50? You'd be stupid not to buy it. That's the best path forward that I see, because I feel like they've already kind of optimized all the value they can out of Game Pass at this point. It's very much in maintenance mode.
Yeah. I'll give you this, right? Maybe not Windows 11 Gaming Edition, but Windows 12. Because I think Windows 11's infrastructure is too rotten at this point.
It's hard, right? Windows 10 was supposed to be the last Windows.
Yeah. I'm still running this podcast is being recorded on Windows 10. I hope you know that, everybody at home. Because I refuse.
Mine too.
Yeah. I refuse to work with Windows 11 anywhere that I'm not being paid.
Oh, so that's the thing. I can't put Windows 11 on this computer at all.
Neither can I. I'll say that too.
It's like, great, good job, Microsoft. I'm not going to give you money because I can't afford to buy a new motherboard right now because it's double the price it should be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's so stupid, the RAM shortages right now, because not only have you alienated like any technical like prowess, you run the risk of like the software outgrowing the hardware and the consumer hardware base at that. Now, what's your solution to this? I think they're going to try making cloud like more of a consumer product. But I don't think the average person, like, I'm Dave, I'm a construction worker, I come home and I want a game, like, to relax after a long, hard day of construction. What the fuck is a cloud? Why do I need a cloud to run Steam? You know?
See, I had a very different thought when you said, what's the solution?
Yeah.
My
Please.
answer is that we start Greenpeace, but for technology, and we start doing acts of terrorism on large data centers to force the rapid deflation of the AI market by forcing them to experience both losses from losing their data centers, but then also having to pay to build new data centers that they can't afford. And then the bubble pops, and then that's how we fix gaming. But
I'm a
yours is
fatalist.
good too.
I'm a bit of a fatalist, right? Like, I don't doubt a data center is susceptible to terrorist attacks. In fact, I will say it. I never want to do a terrorist attack, but like, I could easily see those having a big fucking target on their heads, right?
And hey, they are gigantic and have very, very few people who work there. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Honestly, what happens? Okay, here's the dumb thing, right? We live in Michigan, in Kent County, where I live. There is a lot of talk of a data center coming into town. What I want to know is, how are these data centers supposed to run during a fucking Michigan blizzard? Because
So a large part of that is that they have gigantic generators built into them.
yeah, that's fine, but those generators cost a lot of fucking money.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why they're trying to get as much of their energy from local grids as they can.
Yeah, I'll be damned if I pay for a fucking local data center's grid.
Yep. People are starting to push back against that, thankfully.
Oh yeah, there's
People
been some
moving.
really good journalism about local communities up here in Michigan
Yep.
fighting back on it. It's like, Microsoft is not a good neighbor. That's like the constant like tagline I hear. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Absolutely. And it's not even like it's bringing money in.
No,
It's a terrible investment for the city.
because like, let's be honest. There's like 3 jobs that it's going to create.
Like the serious number that I usually hear is around 12.
Really?
It makes around 12 long-term jobs after the construction is done. Yeah. And most of that construction is just like building the building. Once that's done, it's again very small teams of people actually installing the stuff.
And they're not going to like actually create jobs for that. They're just going to hire like an existing crew.
Yeah. Pretty much. So
I like talking about tech on this show.
it's frustrating sometimes. I'll
It
be honest.
Because like, I think the problem is we're both children of the 2010s to some extent,
Mhm.
and like in the 2010s, we all kind of romanticized technology a lot as this great equalizer, or like there was nowhere else to go but up. But now that like technology's obviously started growing its like capitalistic fangs, it's become increasingly frustrating to discuss.
Very much. It has been cathartic seeing the AI. What is it? AI boosters is what I think I hear it called.
What's that?
Hearing them getting people who are like shilling for AI.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, hearing the shills get desperate has been encouraging. Some other encouraging news with a caveat on the end of it. Supreme Court has finally ruled that the Trump tariffs from, as a reminder, May of last year, or maybe April, it's been a long time, are illegal. No shit, says the rest of the world.
I really got nothing about this story because it's so fucking stupid.
It's very frustrating because this is the obvious answer, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knew that this was going to be the answer 8 months ago. And we've just been waiting for them to get off of their asses and actually say what we already knew what was inevitable. And what we also knew was inevitable was that Trump would throw a fit over it and then just do something else. And Supreme Court gave him a very wide window to do that. saying, what is this, section 122? I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. The best analogy that I had, I think this is a pretty good one. It's like Trump gets caught drunk driving on 131, and we all sue him to stop drunk driving because it's illegal and it's hurting people. SCOTUS takes a year to hear the case and agrees that it is illegal and orders Trump to stop drunk driving on 131. Trump says, fuck you, I'll just do it on I-94 instead. And now we're all just waiting to see when he starts drunk driving on I-94.
Did you get that little clip I played of the guy, John Barron, who sounds deliciously similar to Donnie?
I did not. I saw you posted that this morning, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's so funny because I'm like 85% sure it's him. It is petty. It is so small and not forward thinking, and there's just a very subtle allusion to Ketanji Brown that makes him seem like he's more upset with Biden than Ketanji herself.
So reading here in a BBC article apparently he actually signed this on Friday. We're drunk driving on I-94. Trump signed a proclamation imposing the new 10% global tariff under a never used law known as Section 122, gives the power to place tariffs up to 15% for 150 days, at which point Congress must step in. Set to go into effect on the 24th of February.
That's in 2
also
days.
Has a huge number of exemptions. It's very dumb. You know what else is dumb? Kristi Noem.
Go on.
We've gotten more details about the Kristi Noem blanket thing. I don't even remember if we actually talked about this last week.
We did.
Think we did? Did we?
did.
Okay.
I remember vividly.
Okay, so the big update that we got this week, thanks to an NBC News article, apparently this whole situation happened in the air while they were flying. We had Kristi Noem, I guess specifically, we had Corin Lewandowski on behalf of Kristi Noem berate a pilot for forgetting Noem's blanket, fired the pilot in the air, and then rehired the pilot after realizing what he had just done.
One of these days, right, they're going to mess with the wrong fucker. There's a lot of mentally unhealthy people out here.
There is. There was a good part of the same article. This is from NBC. Noem's use of Coast Guard resources strands her relationship with the military branch, pointing out a situation that happened on February 4th of last year, where 23-year-old Coast Guardsman, after a 23-year-old Coast Guardsman went overboard in the Pacific Ocean from a Coast Guard cutter on February 4th. The Coast Guard had ships and aircraft to the Pacific searching for the guardsman. Hours into that search, Noem learned that a Coast Guard C-130 that was supposed to fly detained migrants from California to Texas was among the aircraft over the Pacific looking for the missing guardsman, and she intervened, verbally instructing the acting commander of the Coast Guard, Kevin Lindsay, to pull the plane off of its search and rescue mission so that it would not miss the immigration flight. So,
it's almost boring after a while because these stories all have like the same like flow, you know?
Yeah. I mean, this is DHS head instructing a search and rescue mission to stop so that they can shuffle some immigrants around.
Yeah.
It's just so evil. It's evil and dumb. And thankfully, they're starting to see the consequences of the people that they have to work with being genuinely pissed off at them. So there is that, at least, I suppose. Seems like a good time to talk about the DHS shutdown as well. still happening, as far as
Yeah.
I have heard. And we had some interesting stuff going around about the Save Act. Oh, why the hell? Oh, because this website is not good. About the Save Act this week. And one thing that I wanted to bring up was the idea of how this is effectively a poll tax, which is super illegal, right?
Yeah.
We've had cohorts of these Republicans going on to news programs talking about how, you need an ID to buy alcohol. You need an ID to drive your car. You need an ID for this and that. Why not have an ID for voting? Trying to paint this as some sort of hypocrisy on the part of the Dems who are preventing this vote from going forward. And it seems very important to note that voting is a constitutional right. Driving is not. That's the end of the story.
Don't say that in front of Big Car. He'll get ran over.
Yeah. I'm sure Big Car would love for driver's licenses to go away.
Could you imagine?
I'm curious, do you have a passport?
I do. You want to know when I got that fucking passport?
Oh, when was that?
A week before COVID hit the States.
Nice. Good timing. Good timing.
I'd never lived that down.
It is extremely expensive to get a passport these days. Like, genuinely prohibitively expensive for most people, I would say.
Yeah.
So the idea that our senators and congressmen are trying to say that, oh, just get a passport or just take your passport is, it would be laughable if it wasn't so obviously evil.
Classist, even.
Mm-hmm. One might even say racist, but you know. Speaking of classism, Prince Andrew has been arrested.
Yay!
Did you hear what he was arrested for? Because I was not surprised, but a little bit disappointed. Because it's not the, abusing women and children and all of that. Basically, insider trading.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Andrew was using his position as a royal to feed information to Epstein and his business partners about things that were happening within the royal family and British politics so that they could bet for or against them, making their investments ahead of time before news broke.
And we wonder how this class of ultra rich people started.
Yep. Rotten to the core.
Impressive. Yeah.
It is a bit almost boring or shocking, maybe is the right way to put it, in just how mundane it is.
Yeah. You always hear the legends of like these genius like investors and whatnot, but it turns out like no, you just gotta know the right people. You just literally have to wave children in front of them like a stick, like a carrot on a stick.
Mm-hmm. Last couple, I guess just the last thing here. This isn't even actually a thing. Winter Olympics have been happening.
Woo!
Olympics cool. I think I like the Winter Olympics more than the summer ones, as I've been thinking on it lately.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always been a Summer Olympics person.
Mm-hmm. Big news today. Team USA has won the gold medal in men's hockey for the first time in 46 years. Also pretty cool that both the U.S. men's and women's hockey teams both won the gold medal in their respective competitions, and both won it by 2-1 score in overtime.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cairo, you're telling me you don't want squash in your Winter Olympics?
No, I'm more of a. I was gonna make a. I've lost the joke. See, I was gonna say something like, "Oh, I'm more of a yams person," but my brain immediately went to butternut, and then my brain immediately was like, "No, stupid. That's just another type of squash."
That was really fucking funny.
I don't know what squash is.
I don't know what squash is either, but apparently it starts next Summer Olympics.
Fast-paced, high-intensity racket sport played by 2 or 4 players in a 4-walled indoor court using a small, hollow rubber ball.
Oh,
Players
those
alternate
fuckers.
hitting the ball against the front wall above a bottom tin net. Oh, okay, just above a net, and below the out-of-bounds line, aiming to make it unreturnable.
So I always like the martial arts competitions and the Olympics. So like judo and boxing, those fuckers took karate out of the Olympics.
That kind of sucks.
It does. They got taekwondo though. But like a worldwide karate tournament, that's fucking cool.
I am kind of 2 minds on it because I think there's an element to the Olympics in general where some of the best sports are the ones that require the least equipment.
Yes.
On the other hand, I really like the biathlon.
What are the biathlons?
So biathlon is basically like intermediate distance, long range cross country skiing,
Okay.
but you're also doing extremely precise target shooting with like real rifles, not the little like air rifles that the summer games use.
When you pitch it to me like that, I'm imagining they're trying to go down the slope skiing, and then there's someone else from another team trying to shoot them as they go down.
Not quite. But it is very literally, it's okay. You're in this case, the Italian mountains. Go ski 3 miles, shoot a bunch of targets, ski another 3 miles, shoot more targets, and then come back. First one to do it wins. Extra points depending on how well you shoot.
You know what I think is a very underrated Olympic sport?
Yeah.
Fencing.
Fencing is good.
Yeah. I love it when they get the chance to put the flags on the fencing helmets.
Very silly.
Isn't it?
There was a good one I saw. Let me see if I can find this. I was at lunch the other day, and because it's the Olympics, I have found that aspect of the recent Olympics to be very fascinating too. And maybe I just didn't notice this before. It feels like more places are showing the Olympics right now than previously.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go back to like the country burning?
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm fine with how it is. But there was a skiing event that had Swiss skiers, and they had, let me see if I can find this, their mouth guard, just in the very middle of it, has a little Swiss flag.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Apparently, flag football is entering the Olympics.
I heard about that. That's...
Eh.
Why not just rugby? Flag football feels like a compromise that the world did not need to make with the US. Just do rugby at the Olympics.
I always am shocked that they don't have marathon running for the Olympics.
Don't they?
No, not for the Summer Olympics.
I could have sworn they did.
No, I'm sure it's probably in there in like one of the other running like field events, but like in terms of sports, I don't see it listed.
Okay, well, what is this? Marathon. Because they definitely used to have it, because that was like one of the 3 events, right?
Was it?
Yeah. They had a standard marathon at the London Olympics in 1908. It was regular as of in the 20s. They had it in 2024, apparently.
I don't see it listed on the Wikipedia page. Okay.
I'm trying to find the what the actual distance is, and I'm not sure.
Wait, for how long a marathon is?
Oh no, for the Olympic one specifically.
Oh, a marathon's just a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like no special distance.
Apparently, this one has some sort of standardization from year to year.
Huh.
In like some way that the records are meaningful, from what I understand. But I am literally just reading the Wikipedia page for this, so you know.
The world records for the marathon, the Olympic marathon, were set in 2024. Holy shit.
Yeah. I imagine it's like the 26.2 mile type thing, you know, like all the bumper stickers have, yeah?
Yeah. One day, I will get one of those bumper stickers. I will earn that fucking bumper sticker. Holy fuck. Marathon training's hard.
I believe it.
Like, I'm only at half a marathon. I can barely do that sometimes. And to think, like, I have to double that still, it drives me fucking wild.
Mm-hmm. The record is kind of crazy how far it dropped, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's, man, what was the last one? Okay, no, I guess there was another one before that. So in Beijing, we had someone run a 2:06:32. And the record was broken in 2024 in Paris with a 2:06:26. So they beat it by 6 seconds. But it's like minutes to the next people after those times.
I will say this, right? You never understand time until you're running with like a clock in front of your face. Because like, I'll share like times with my family, like on runs and whatnot. And I'll get so pissy about like a 4-minute difference that everybody's like, it's still like within 5 minutes. Like what could have possibly gone wrong for it to be like, you know, why is it such a big deal? I don't know. 4 minutes to me feels like a fucking travesty. Because it just tells me like a whole bunch of things had to go wrong for that to happen.
Apparently they used to do a 50-kilometer walk. That sounds fake.
I don't know. That feels like that'd be a lot.
I feel like all of the walking events are kind of dumb.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be a prick, right? I think exercise in its purest form is good for everybody.
Absolutely.
I will say, I don't like doing runs and then having to be on the same court, like circuit, as people who are walking, just because of the difference in ability there. And I'm always so worried about, like, I don't know, coming off as a try-hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's on me, though.
I think that's fair, though. It's a fair concern. Would you like to talk some movies? Got a couple.
Oh, yes. Yes, please. Please, I love movies. Movies are my friends.
Yeah. So, releases this week. I don't actually know if this one's going to be in theaters, but I think it's very funny to talk about still. Psycho Killer Following the brutal murder of her husband, a Kansas Highway Patrol officer sets out on a journey to track down the perpetrator. As the hunt progresses, she comes to realize the man responsible is a sadistic serial killer, and the depths of his mental depravity and his sinister agenda are more twisted than anyone could have imagined.
Okay.
Current critic score 0% with 24 reviews.
Burr, burr, burr. It sounds edgy.
A sampling of some of the reviews. The climax proves thoroughly ridiculous, but by that point, you've given up on the film anyway.
That's good.
By the 80-minute mark, this once dark, gritty film has shifted into self-parody territory. We have another one here calling it moronic. A cinematic trash dump of plot holes and huge unanswered questions in this unimaginative story about a highway patrol officer hunting down the serial killer who murdered her husband.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of the tone through everything. Next on the list, Somersault. Following a reckless encounter with her mother's boyfriend, teenager Heidi is forced to flee home and restart her life, finding refuge at a motel in the icy ski town of Jindaben. There, she lands a job at a petrol station, befriends her warm co-worker Bianca, and meets Joe, a young man grappling with his own emotional baggage. As Heidi and Joe pursue a shaky relationship and search for normalcy against a bleak winter backdrop, they must confront their vices, feelings of isolation, and need for love and belonging.
Okay.
Apparently, this is drawing attention. 85% from critics, 72% from audiences, due in part to a breakout lead performance by Abby Cornish.
Huh.
Along with a directorial debut from Kate Shortland.
It sounds cool.
Next up, How to Make a Killing. There you go. Disowned by birth by his obscenely wealthy family, blue-collar Beckett Redfellow will stop at nothing to reclaim his inheritance, no matter how many relatives stand in his way. Where'd it go? There's a particular... Not here. Well, I'll send you a screen grab of it, but there's a very particular frame from one of the trailers that just looks like it's fake. Like, how is this a real person's face?
It kind of looks like an airbrush.
Yeah, it looks like somebody put one of those, like, Chad filters on him.
I was actually thinking like a soy jack almost.
Yeah. But, you know, Glenn Powell does kind of look that way. So, 47% from critics, 77% from audiences.
Have you... Okay, side note, because we're talking about soy jacks a little bit. Did you see people were trying to make a soy jack out of that kid that beat up that Nazi kid in the school?
The one where they had to make up that he was crying or whatever?
Yeah.
I did see that, yes.
Okay, all respect, right? I don't like kids bullying other kids, but like the eyes that kid has in the video, like that calm expression, that's a killer. That's a fucker I don't want to be in like a room with. That's you're doing a disservice by making it look like he's forcibly making it look like he's crying.
That is the point, though, because the people who are trying to do that were like the Nazis.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was slander. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But like Nazis, right? I know you're listening to us because you love our show. You have some principles, man. Just
maybe they'd stop being Nazis if they did.
Have you ever thought about the rule of cool?
It's always a good reminder to remember that the right can't meme.
Next movie.
Next movie, Redux Redux. In an attempt to avenge her daughter's death, Irene Kelly travels through parallel universes, killing her daughter's murderer over and over again. She grows addicted to the revenge streak, putting her own humanity in jeopardy.
No, this is one we talked about before. I'm sorry.
We talked about this before the show. It's only got a handful, more than a handful reviews actually. 63 from critics. Very few from audiences though, because this has an extremely limited release. I tried to see what theaters I might be able to find it in, and I didn't really see anything nearby, which was pretty disappointing. But you know, not super surprising. I really love the idea of this one though. New cool. Or at least fresh science fiction ideas are always so welcome.
Oh, definitely. I think like science fiction gets such a bad rap. Just because like it's so easy to just do like aliens or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
What next?
That's it.
That's
just
it?
A couple. Just a little taste this week.
A little snippet, a little taste, because it's February. January's a little more popular sister. Okay. Well, can I talk about a movie?
Please.
Rental Family with Brendan Fraser. Really fucking good movie. It is a very positive movie. It is a very pleasant movie. I really dug it. It is a very good movie about just like the little connections people make, and whether like, you know, it takes place in Japan, which is a pretty lonely place and kind of a hellscape for like genuine human connections. So it asks the question, that's impressive. Did you hear that?
I did not.
Oh, that's impressive. Okay. My microphone was picking up the sound of some plastic being like crinkled in like the next room over. It was very empowering. This is a strong microphone. But Brendan Fraser basically asked the question, what if a pure-hearted white guy was everybody's token friend in Tokyo? And the answer might surprise you. It's kind of hard to talk about this movie without giving away the plot. I think it's very good. I think everybody should go see it. It's fucking on Hulu. And Brendan Fraser's a good actor. I didn't know he knew fucking Japanese, because he like talks like half his lines in Japanese in this movie. You'll have a whale of a good time. I think that's all I got.
I did find that there's an AMC showing Redux in Grand Rapids, so maybe.
Okay, I'm going to spoil a little bit of the show pre-magic here. Kyril over here was just complaining about all the times they had to come up to Grand Rapids the last few days. But like, for a movie?
No. Specifically in the middle of the day.
Okay.
I'm okay going up to Grand Rapids. It's having to drive up at like noon and then drive back right away. That's the part that sucks.
Okay. You know, screw that.
But also, yeah, it is a long way. It's always longer than I think it is.
In that case, I hope you enjoy your damn movie. I'm Infamous Orion, and I'm a Schmo.
And I'm Cairo, and I'm also a Schmo.
And this has been the Two Schmo Show.